Hello, everyone. Welcome to CXO Spice. CXO Spice is a platform where thought leaders share their point of view on innovation and explain how to make it happen in real world. I'm your host, Helen Yu. Today's topic is Spark Innovation with Copilot M365. Our special guest is Vincent Benjamin. With his extensive experience as the head of modern work business for financial services at Microsoft, Vincent brings a wealth of insights on how technology can spark innovation in financial services sector. Hello, Vincent. Welcome to CXO Spice.
Hi, Helen. Thanks for having me.
So glad to have you here, Vincent. Before we dive into our discussion, could you share your background and your role as the head of Microsoft Modern Work Business for Financial Services?
Absolutely. I would call myself a financial services veteran, having spent a decade in financial services and investment banking and investment management. During that time, I saw this thing we call innovation really disrupting the world around me. And I said to myself, that's an interesting wave that I'd like to ride for the rest of my career. So I pivoted to tech and built new muscles I never knew I would need. But after some time at a Sequoia-backed startup, Microsoft found me and I found Microsoft. And I've been here for 6 years now. And as we're here to talk about Copilot, it's refreshing to be using some of those same muscles I built during my time at a startup with this exciting launch of a transformational product.
Wow, that's profound, Vincent. I'm so glad we have you here today. So let's dive into our discussion, right? How does Copilot integration align with the unique demands of financial services industry within Microsoft 365?
And if you zoom out and think about what it means to be a financial services professional today, that person is either at their desk in meetings or is in front of clients or outside of the office. And when I think about Copilot, when we're at our desk, we're unfortunately in more meetings than we would like. And at times we have multiple meetings at the same time that are all important. Copilot in Teams is transformational in that when you turn it on, it will transcribe and summarize a meeting, and I don't have to be there. And even if I am there, I can be fully present on the conversation that is happening, and I don't have to take notes. I can also conduct sentiment analysis while the meeting is taking place, so I can understand exactly how my customers are feeling and respond accordingly. So that's an example of, when I'm at my desk in a meeting with the Copilot running, but we're very often outside of the office with our cell phones. And our mobile app has been transformational for me because when I'm on the run, I can ask Copilot, what did I miss? And if I wanted to be more specific, I could say, what did I miss from Helen? I could use any prompt that I use on the desktop in the mobile app. And so it's really allowing multiple professionals to be more impactful, but more focused and present and doing more high impact work. And then we'll talk about that concept of, when we think about why we do what we do and what makes us most exciting, then we think about where we spend our time. We often spend our time doing low leverage but required work, and Copilot is really empowering us to do less of that and do more high impact, high agency activity.
That's enlightening. I started testing that myself, right? I echo what you just said. So building on that, how does Copilot efficiency resonate with the time-sensitive nature of financial tasks and workflows?
Yeah, across many a company, we have all been asked to do more with less, right? And not only are folks being asked to do more with less, there's an expectation and need to deliver tremendously high impact and high quality work. And Copilot is really helping on 3 pillars in terms of speed, in terms of quality, and in terms of effort. And, it's great we're talking when we're talking now, Helen, because this is not just me telling you what I think Copilot does, or I'm not telling you what Microsoft hypothesizes it will do. We're hearing from our customers, right? Many of which who were skeptical originally, who are now quietly quietly saying, wow, right? We are saving tremendous amount of time and we're seeing tremendous impact. And on that note, I'll give a shout out to the customer champs out there. And for the C-suite execs who built those champion groups and teams, kudos to you, because that's where the innovation is being unlocked. We have our own hypothesis of how Copilot will change financial services, but our customers are bringing that to life and coming back to us with that feedback.
Absolutely agree with you with what you just said, right? In 2024, especially, we're all trying to do more with less. And I love what you said about focusing on high impact with 3 pillars: speed, quality, and efficiency. So speaking of that, in what ways does Copilot foster innovation within financial tasks and communications?
Well, Helen, I'm gonna, maybe you'll kick me off the show for doing this, but I'm gonna ask you, what do you require to be innovative?
Well, you have to have a new way of thinking, a new way of doing things. It cannot be, hey, I've always been doing things in this way. Or you have to get yourself out of the comfort zone in order to be innovative. What do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah, thank you for that. In order to be innovative or creative, you need time,
Yes.
right? That's one ingredient. You need time to go for a walk,
Yeah.
right? And maybe think of doing something differently. Copilot is saving our customers tremendous amounts of time. It's saving me time, right? Quite frankly, and I don't want everybody to know how much Copilot is doing for me, because I want everyone to think that I'm doing all this great work, but it's saving tremendous amounts of time. One customer shared with us, it saved their focus group 1.1 hours per week, right?
Mm.
And we're seeing numbers like that. So one is providing room for innovation, right?
Yeah.
Two, we had a customer share that their employees are asking Copilot for ideas. This was a shocker. I didn't think about this. I thought Copilot would allow people to talk, but people are saying, hey, Copilot, give me some creative ideas on how I may innovate X, Y, Z. And it's providing that start, that creative, that innovative spark. And also it's allowing folks to be more present. We're talking about technology on this conversation, but in the day we are still humans and we are still animals, and being present is important, and making eye contact. So we're doing less multitasking because we feel confident that Copilot has our back, right? We can be more present where we are, and we can follow up with the summary, the action items, all captured by Copilot in other meetings and environments.
Absolutely. Vincent, you summarize that really well. We not only just need time, we need the time to think, right? So that's being said, imagine if you're in a meeting, you have to constantly taking the notes, that's a distraction, right? And let the Copilot do what it's good to be doing, and we can focus on discussion, focus on thinking, focus on innovation. That's remarkable. So can you highlight a success story then? I mean, you talk a little bit how Copilot streamline email management and communication efficiency. I'm inundated with emails today. I don't know about you. Can you share a success story about that?
Yeah, I'll share a customer success story, then I'll share an internal success story. Have a customer that needs to reply to a high volume of customer emails compliantly. Um, that being said, the compliant emails weren't always being well received by the customers. By leveraging Copilot, they were able to increase the speed of reply, ensure the emails were compliant, and also ask Copilot to assess the empathy
Mm.
of the emails and to predict how they would be received. So speed, yes, faster. Quality, higher quality, more empathetic while compliant emails. And effort, super important, less effort. So that's one example where we've heard from customers, one of the first things they've seen is, wow, our customer service team is able to respond quicker and more authentically and compliantly to emails. One example I have internally is one of our favorite prompts is, what did I miss? Right? You're in all day client meetings. You could scroll through your inbox. You could open up every email. You could read, but I don't know if you're like me. I don't have a 100% hit rate when it comes to that. But with Copilot, say, what did I miss? What action items do I have? And I can even ask about members of my team. What action items do they have that are unresolved or that have been addressed? And so, that has been a major time saving for a lot of folks, and even drafting email replies. One thematic thought is we're moving from having to be authors to being editors.
I love that. Yeah.
And it's much more efficient and enjoyable to be an editor for most of a first draft than having to author an original work.
I can't wait to get my hands on the emails. I haven't tried that just yet. I intend to migrate my other emails over, right, in the short order, just to test it out. But, speaking about writing, also being a writer myself, I'm interested in learning more about the Copilot writing tools, right? How does that contribute to content creation, especially within financial reports or documentation?
Yeah, so we have our Copilot web page portal, we have our app, but it's also built into our applications now. Outlook, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. So you are a writer, I'm a writer, and I'm actually an English major. But we have some folks who are technically phenomenal, but their developmental area sometimes is written communication. With Copilot, they're closing that gap, and they're able to confidently and quickly draft executive level communication. And we know how important that is as we seek to build trust internally and externally. And so again, being able to get a first draft that strikes the tone you're seeking. You can even provide examples of previous writing examples, strike this tone, super efficient, and it's increasing the confidence of employees. Somewhat related, I had a new hire come to me. Well, I came to him and I said, help me understand how you're having so much impact so soon. I don't mean to offend, but we thought your rant would be twice as long. His response was Copilot. So what do you mean? He said, without Copilot, Vincent, my rant would have involved meeting with all of these people, sitting in with them, and I probably wouldn't have asked so many questions. He's like, I don't think I can offend Copilot, right? There's no question limit. So it's really giving me the confidence to ramp. And so that speaks to employee satisfaction, that speaks to retention, but it also speaks to revenue impact if that's important to you.
Well, I love that because you can imagine it can be leveraged for employee onboarding, right, too, and then really truly improve the efficiency and then help tailor that onboarding process for employees based on where they need to spend more time. That's just phenomenal. But speaking of that, I'm also interested in learning more about how Copilot contribute to more productive financial discussions and presentations.
Absolutely. So from a presentation perspective, from a PowerPoint perspective, I've seen employees take transcripts from meetings, take Word documents, and go into Copilot for PowerPoint and say, create a PowerPoint presentation from this document. Now, is that presentation ready for prime time? Of course not. But is that first draft, does that save us hours in terms of getting started? Tremendously. So from a presentation perspective, being able to take written word or verbal, if you think about it, a transcript is a conversation, right? But you're able to take that conversation and quickly in seconds have a PowerPoint draft, that's phenomenal. And in terms of conversations, one of my favorite features is the sentiment analysis prompt. I mentioned that earlier a bit, but I've been in spirited meetings with important customers, and there may be 20 executives from the customer on the call. And many people are speaking and saying different things, different opinions. During that meeting, because I've had Copilot running, I can ask Copilot to conduct a sentiment analysis, and
Hmm.
it can tell me that Julie is all in on what we're talking about, but Jill expressed these specific concerns.
Hmm.
So that empowers me to know where to direct my commentary or sharpens our follow-up in terms of strategy. And so, and during this time, I'm making eye contact, I'm being present, I'm not having to take a bunch of notes, and I'm confident that we're on top of it. So, from a presentation perspective, it's like having an assistant who never needs to take a bathroom break or go get more coffee.
Wow, that's fascinating, right? And because certain times, some things that we can read, but when we are in a remote meeting, sometimes it's difficult for us to get that sentiment like, the Copilot can do for us. So thank you for sharing that. What about the integration into the daily workflows, the daily workflow of financial professionals? Because, think about, I started my career as a financial analyst, right? And then how do you optimize that routine task? Because sometimes you're just inundated with data and then you can't see the forest through the trees. And how do you help integrate that into their daily workflow for the financial professionals?
Absolutely. So we're seeing employees attend less meetings, focusing on high impact meetings, but they're able to catch all meetings that they miss. They'll quickly say, what did I miss? What's important? What are key next steps, action items? We're often also seeing internal comms be moved to Copilot to save teams time there. And we've even had customers say from an RFP generation perspective, they're able to outsource a lot of this work, some of the work, right? You still have to, ensure it's what you want, but I call this low leverage work, things that have to be done, but maybe don't have the highest impact. Our customers are really attacking that. We're also seeing customers move up the impact chain and start to integrate Copilot into their actual business processes. And no one's going to come on a podcast and tell you their strategic advantage they're forming with Copilot, but it's exciting to see that happening with our customers for sure.
That's amazing. As a matter of fact, I hosted Dell the other day on CXO Spice, and they were bragging or about Copilot, right? How the efficiency they gained through team, and that's just very much consistent what I heard from you today. So let's take a step back, Vincent. Looking ahead, what is the role of technology advancement in addressing workforce innovation needs within financial services, and how Copilot aligns with these advancements?
Right. If you think about what's needed for innovation, we talked about it. You need time, you need trust, and Copilot is creating more time for sure, allowing for idea, creativity, and sparks. And I believe creating more trust amongst people. Uh, as we have less of low leverage work, there's more room for high leverage, high skilled work, right? And we all have our respective superpowers, right? There's somebody on watching this video who is the best at something. And when she walks in the room, she knows that I have an edge here. That is where we're headed, where people are achieving more agency and impact because more is being transferred to Copilot and AI. So I think you're going to see more of this. And right now we're talking about individual productivity, but we're headed to where you're going to see more Copilot agents having impact on business processes. And so we're just getting started. And, we haven't talked too much about the cost of Copilot, and it's definitely not free. But what we are seeing is that customers are going from saying, this is the cost of Copilot to saying, what is the cost of missing out?
I love
Right?
that. Yeah.
Phase one, we're talking about phase one, but if you're not on the train for phase one, you're going to be witnessing rockets take off in phase two and three. And so, look, there's a lot of hype out there around AI, and I'm not one to get too excited about hype. I don't think I am, at least. Uh, what's exciting about this moment is that we're moving from the hype to the real impact. And so I'm glad we're speaking when we're speaking, because the feedback is, we have it. The impact is coming out, and, you know, in the coming months, as the data and research is published, we'll look back on our conversation and we'll be able to say, like, yeah, we were talking about what everybody would know in the coming months. So it's exciting.
Wow, that's profound, Vincent. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and insights with us today. Here are a few key takeaways, right? Number one, Copilot's tailored solution for financial services. I'm very much like resonated with me that you talk about now Copilot allow us to do more with less, with, you know, those three focus. Number one is the speed. Number two is the quality. Number three is the efficiency. What you talk about, interesting, right, is also enhance the productivity and compliance. Not just the productivity, but doing that safely, because, you know, Copilot streamlines email management, communication efficiency within financial services, playing a very pivotal role in maintaining client relationships and client compliance with dynamic landscape of financial services. Thirdly, you shared a story about content creation. And, you know, it's really the creativity that Copilot, not just to tell you how to write, but give you ideas, sparks innovative ideas on what to write, the topics about it, and then really ensuring the accuracy and clarity in financial documentation. What you said about creating presentation also resonated with me, right? You can turn transcript into a preliminary presentation in a very fast manner. Lastly is a seamless workflow optimization. Copilot really integrates into our daily workflow, optimizing routine tasks. A few things you mentioned about allows us to do, you know, really shift the low impact work to Copilot so we can focus on high impact work, and then allows us to have more time to think, more time to innovate. That's how Copilot can spark innovation, really for us to be more productive, more creative. So thank you again, Vincent, for highlighting the importance of Copilot's integration, its role in enhancing productivity and compliance, its contribution to content creation, and the seamless workflow optimization within the financial service industry. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Stay hungry, stay bold, and stay grateful.
Thank you, Helen.
Thank you.